This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so now we are going to add host to our machines. I mean to our Azure DevOps account. So what do we do in this case? So before that, let's understand the the difference between the Microsoft hosted versus self-hosted agent. Primarily, we'll be working with the self-hosted agent only. That's the reason I've given you the access to the Azure portal, where you can create as many machines you want and then add into the hosted environment. So yeah, so Microsoft hosted agent, I think you have seen some of the default pool, right? Agent pool. So that was created by Microsoft, I mean Azure DevOps, and you can create your own pool also. And this the pool, if you're going for Microsoft hosted agent, and if you have a credit, so this is a single use virtual machine provided by Microsoft. All patches and upgrades are taken care by them. You don't have to worry about it. Predefined software packages are installed. That means based on the what kind of machines you have, Java based or .NET based, or what exactly you are going for, Linux, Windows, you will have those predefined. Task run with the highest level of permissions. That means that agent which is provided by Microsoft, you have a highest level of permissions like a root admin or something like that. Data does not persist between the pipeline runs. That means when you have a two pipeline running and you are using the same pool, it's not like you can access to each other. It's like a separate isolated environment, and you can install additional packages as well in this VM. Now, which are the operating systems which is supported for the hosted one? By the way, this will change every time. So best way, if you want to get the up-to-date information, you can get at the bottom sections you have URL, you can get it. This will keeps changing it. So some of the popular one I think you have in front of you, uh, Windows Server 2019, 16, 12, and Ubuntu and so on. So some of the stuff. Okay, so what about the self-hosted agent? I think self-hosted agent, everything you have a control. You bring your own machine, you bring your own binaries. Data cached and configuration persist between the runs. Can be run on Mac OS, Linux, Windows, and Docker containers also. The same thing which we covered in the morning's time. That means agent can be a containers also. That is possible. Agents run either interactively or as a service. Interactively means service, you understand, right? Interactive means just you run the executable, it will run, and if you close the window, it will get closed. Simple. User is responsible for all the management and configuration. That means you have to manage these nodes, and user is responsible for all the major version upgrades and securities as well. So these are the things. Now in terms of network configuration, so this is just for the getting an idea. Important things, just look at the first side of the image. That means any machine can be agent if you are allowing outgoing to be um, accessible. Most of the machines will be having, but many organizations they block that outgoing also. So if you see that your machines will access the agent pool which is located at a cloud, and the port, I mean the port number, TCP port number is HTTPS 443. So more or less. Now network firewall again depends on that your infrastructure, more or less. If it is open, then no problem. You can there is a AWS, sorry, Azure, you have a ways to secure all this, the communication between the two things also, two VPCs, so that is also available. Okay, so what are the capabilities? So system capabilities automatic and user capabilities manual, include operating systems, application, and environment variables. Capabilities are used as a demand in a pipeline job. So that means this agent, uh, I'll put it in simple way. Let's say if you're building Java, so Java, and you have one pool, and in one pool you have one machine of Windows, one in Linux, and you need a Windows. So based there's a logic which call it agent capability. Automatically detect, okay, it required Windows, and they'll try to build the Windows. Now let's say second environment, second scenario, you need a Java, uh, GRE to build your code, and you have three machines. Automatically, out of three machines in a pool, it will detect that GRE is there and it will allocate to that. So that's called agent capability. That intelligence is there. You can you can say, okay, no, this build should be built with this agent only, or you can say, okay, this build can you build with any other machine which is capable to build this. That also you can do that. So capabilities are used as a demand in the pipeline jobs. I'll teach you that YAML file little later and so on. And these are the capabilities options you will get it. In short, I'll tell you, in every machine you install one agent read entire information, system information, and then send it to the Azure DevOps, and they, based on that, they will find out capable or not capable. So likewise, so these are the information which was sent by agent, which you can access on the Azure DevOps. Okay, and you can do that through agent configuration through APIs also. Agent also is having API, but dedicated executables are there. So these are the things you need: org, pool ID, agent ID, org URL, and token, personal token. Okay, so these are the 5 important things. Rest of the things is not important. So yeah, we can get started with it and start adding. Uh, any questions so far? Okay, so no, anywhere it can be, as long as your outgoing 443 is accessible to the Azure DevOps. Yeah. So that's some of the requirement documents we have here in the, but PAT is important. And anyways, I'll show you the demo, so it'll be easy. That's not difficult. And 443, remember, if you are in a proxy, then you know that proxy you have to set it up. So like this. Any questions? Okay, so what?
Number of agents that are available in agent.
There is no as such limitation which I have.
No, but
yeah.
So when it comes to concurrent runs, pipelines, so does it depend number of agents available?
So there is a concurrency has a different definition. So one job, you can use the same agent but the different location path, build path.
Okay.
So that is also, so there are some configurations you have to do.
So what is the hard limit for pipelines that can be run?
Hard limit of pipelines can be run means
in
parallel. Okay, so parallel, there is no as such limit, but for this you have to apply additional license. So for this you won't get it. So I'll see that if I can use some of the accounts where I can show you that one. Yeah. Okay, so now what I have done, I'll tell you guys. I have created one VM in the morning. That's Ubuntu VM, right? So I'm going to use that VM itself. So let me open my machines, and somewhere here, this is my IP address. Okay, I'm going to access through putty. Now I have a machine, so I'm using it. You will create your own machines, okay, and you'll be responsible for user ID and password. Everything you will have the access for it. Okay, so this is the outgoing is allowed, so that's not a problem for this VM at least. Done. And I have a bad habit. Instead of sudo, I work as a root. This is my problem actually. You should use the sudo. Now what do we do in this case? I should go to Azure DevOps, okay, and then any idea where should I go? Should I go to project level or org level? Org level. Yeah. So where should I click? Setting. Wonderful. So here guys, I'm going to create my own pool. I'm not using any of this pool. So agent pool. Okay, and here these are the two default one. By the way, I must tell you here, if you in the pipeline code, in the code the one which you're going to write, if you do not specify any pool, then which will be taken? Default. Yeah, so please remember that. Okay, so add a pool, and I'm going to add a pool self-hosted, or you can attach to the Azure virtual machine scale set. That means you can create a skill set and attach to that. But if you go attach to that, so you have to attach to the internet ID also, and a permission you have to give. Right now I'm not doing it. So self-hosted, what is the name? So I'll go for DevOps school. Okay, and then a description if you want it, and auto provision for all the projects, and create it.
What is skill set?
Scale set is like uh, uh, this is not a concept of Azure DevOps. In Azure portal, there is a one resource called a scale set. Inside that, you can decide that how many number of machines, virtual machines, you can create. So scale, you define the, and configuration you define, and based on the uses, that number will go come and down. It's like in AWS, if you know, it's called auto scaling group, something like that. So it's something similar.
So basically it's a horizontal scale.
Huh.
So what is the difference between the virtual machine skill set and the Azure pipelines theory over there?
Sorry, I missed that question.
What is the difference between the Azure machine skill set, that is a machine skill set which has VM pool, right?
Huh.
What is the difference between that and the Azure pipelines?
Agent pool. So this agent pool is basically all the builds which you do, the pipeline build you do. Build means, remember that in SDLC cycle, build, a scan. Scan you do, where do you will do? In agent, one of the agent in this pool.
Right. So when you create one more agent by configuring the virtual machine skills,
Uh-huh.
I am asking what is the difference between that agent and the Azure pipelines agent?
So the here, if you go for Azure scale set, automatically you are attaching one scale set which is already exist. So this agent pool will be configured. That means this agent will be used that as a compute. That machines will be used as a compute. But here I'm setting up separately. So there's no fundamental conceptually there is no difference. See, I'll tell you. In a scale set also you get a machines. Separately also you get a machines. Both these machines should be a part of this agent pool. That's all. So there's no fundamentally there's no difference. But let's say if you want to integrate with Azure, so it's easy, right? Instead of see, there's an option number one. You have a 10 machine, you attach what I'm showing you right now, you do 10 times, or either you go and attach the scale set. Simple. So it's up to you.
Okay, so you're talking about the difference between Azure machine skill set and self-hosted.
Huh.
I'm asking the difference between Microsoft self-hosted agent and that Azure pipelines, the first agent that we have there.
Okay, so what you are saying, okay, let's go a step back. I think we are mixing the things. So here you are saying this one, right? Azure pipeline and default.
The
First one. Yeah. So these are the one. Okay, this is a name actually.
Yeah.
So this name for the pool, and this pool is created by Azure. Okay. Now, if you want to use these pools, you have to buy a credit somewhere here in the billing sections. So these pools means they manage. I just know. Okay, I talk about the difference between the self-hosted and Microsoft managed. So same. Uh, Major difference is like they will manage your VM in that case, and self-hosted you will manage. Complete ownership will be with you. Now, from where you get this machine? Typically, you either you have a private data center or cloud. Most of the people have a cloud, so it's like that. Getting my points?
Yeah, but like my question was different.
Okay, let me write. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so forget about self-hosted agent. Okay,
Uh-huh.
let's say we do have a billing already, and we have the subscription and everything.
Correct.
So in that case, one way to add is self-hosted.
Huh.
Let's say I do not want that. I can choose to make a machine skill set and use that as.
Virtual machine skill set also is a self-hosted.
Yeah, there's an option to choose virtual machine
Okay,
skill
okay,
set.
okay, okay. I understood now the concept. Here, Microsoft MS hosted, self-hosted. Okay. In this, understand that in the self-hosted, you had a either you attach to the VM set or bring your own machine. So here, when you have a self-hosted, MS hosted, it's a complete control by them.
Yeah, like when we add an agent pool, can you go to the
Yeah. DevOps school.
Try to add a new.
Okay, new. Okay, here and
There we have Azure Virtual Machine skill set.
ha.
So when we add that, you can when you create your own virtual machine skill set, you can link that here and it will create a VM pool agent.
Right.
The Azure pipelines that we have, the first one, the
Ha.
first agent, that also acts similarly. Right?
Okay. So there's a little bit little difference. Self-hosted with uh, virtual machine sets, you control that machine, and Microsoft hosted, they control. You don't have any control on that. So for example, when you create a virtual set, you define this operating system I want, this disk I want, this RAM, CPU, all these things you specify. There you don't have those options. So virtual machine set, the one which you create, you control that operating system, CPU, RAM, disk, network, incoming, outgoing, security groups, everything you control. There they control.
Is there also cost difference when it comes to that?
So basically, Microsoft hosted, they typically run on the containers actually. So that will be cheaper compared to what you go for agent pool. Again, is you have to optimize this, and again in the production environment, you don't use one or two machine actually, you use hundreds of machines. So you have to also check that, compare that. Sometime what happens, you have bought the credit but you are not utilizing it. But here, let's say if you go for self-hosted, you have a control, like I can reduce this, but once you buy the credit, again you have to follow multiple process to customer. You cannot go every day, you can change there. So like that.
So inside a skill set, again we have to decide how many VMs we can spend.
It's under your control, right?
Yeah.
1 to 2, 2 to or whatever it is.
This agent pool will not spend.
So that. Okay, are we? So can we go ahead? So DevOps school is a pool, okay? And here I am going to add one agent, new agent. Okay. Now, please spend some time here. Okay, don't get confused, because a little confusing you have here. Windows means you want to install agent in the Windows machine. Mac, you want to install agent in a Mac machine. Linux, you want to install agent in Linux machine. Very clear. Now, which left side, if you see the architecture, so which one is our architecture? x64, agree with me? But nowadays you get the VM, ARM and all stuff like that, you have to check that. So that's cheaper. ARM is cheaper, by the way. And x64. Now agent you can download and copy. So here I'm playing little tactics, which here this is the agent. Okay, so the problem is, like, if you download again, you have to upload to the VM, so don't do that. Copy this one. Now create an agent, create the agent, and these are the commands they have given, and this is for the Linux, and configure it, this command for configuring, and this is for the running. Now what I will do, I'll go here, go to the opt wget, and I download this, enter just a little bit of it, and then and extract this. So I'll share all the commands with you, don't worry about that. And one mistake I did, and that was I should have created one directory. Yeah, so it's okay, I'll move this. Opt is empty right now, so it's a good, but I did that, missed. Okay, so mkdir agent, okay, and mv bin config inb external license and run docker, this is for container, and run.sh to agent, correct now? Enter, done. So good to go. Container D is my docker directory, I know that. So now here you have to first run the config.sh. Already the permission has been given, so you don't have to set the chmod 555. So config.sh, enter. what it says, must not be root. Okay, so there is a must not run with a sudo. So this configuration has been changed, so now not to worry, I'll have to go become a Rajesh user, and again you have to do the same thing. So here I will not agent cd agent wget this one, and now clear the screen and tar hyphen zxvf and done. Now done, and then now config.sh, enter. Now enter y to accept the licensing agreement, yes. Enter server URL. So this is where most of the steps are very simple. This is where you just need to be careful, okay? Because once you made a wrong entry, it's not like you cannot correct, but you need to spend some time. This one, which I selected, anyone can tell me? Organization, correct? So here I will select org. Enter server URL, so that's a org ID, okay? Enter. Now what is a pat? So pat is like personal access token. How do we get it? So every users can generate their own pat. So the moment if I say pat, okay, this options is like a pat. Now you will say, Rajesh, it is asking me for the pat, but what are the authentication method we have? Uh, uh, Many authentication methods supported by agent. Pat is one of the options, but you can use auth ID also, SAML also. Many options are there, but for that you have to refer the documentation. But right now we don't need those SSL and kind of things. So pat is sufficient. So I enter the pat. What is a personal access token? Please remember that you have to come to uh, you know what, I'll open up a new tab. I don't want to close that. I will come to here and user account, you see, uh, second one here, and can you locate yourself the pat? Last one. So here it is, and I will generate this one for it, and the name is DevOps org 5. Now something you, I don't think so I have to explain it, you can read it. 30 days expiration or whatever it is, and full access, custom defined, read write, all these things. So I'll go for full access right now, no complications, and create. And this is the pat, and enter. So far so good. Enter. Now it's connecting to my org. 443 is allowed. And so what is the pool? You have to be careful. What was my pool name? Anyone remember? Something like pool agent pool. So something, let me show you. So my pool name was Rajesh, sorry, DevOps school. Okay, so if you do not select this, what will happen? It'll go to, but actually I didn't wanted you to use the default, so you can use a custom. So enter DevOps school, enter. What is the agent name? So this is the Ubuntu one. Okay, this all you can automate it, don't worry about that. Using Ansible chef or image editor, you can automate it, and it's happening now. What is this work folder? So you don't have to select the work folder, but some work folder is a place. Let's say you do the compile, so compile that, there's a source code download happen from the git, right? Where it will download, where the build will happen, where the binaries will be stored. So you want to customize that location, so you can go for it. If you don't customize, what will happen? There is one folder will be created underscore work under your user home directory. Will you remember this? You can customize or not customize. Underscore work will be created. I'm going for the user home directory. Okay, enter and setting. So guys, this is the second command I run, which is called config. Are you okay with this? Now you have to run as a standalone or as a service. So for that, there is one command which I want to remind you. You have to run this one, run.sh. Okay, so enter same directory, run.sh. So if you run config, is just configured, this will run. Now it started running. Now it's not running as a service mode. I'm running as a standalone mode. Okay, so can we go and check now? Confirm. So cancel and go to the agent tab. There is one next tab, right? Agent tab. And if you see the green online, that means good. If you have not seen anything or red, that means something is wrong with that agent. Are we clear on this? So now we have run the agent and we are good to go to get started using this platform for DevOps operations. At least one agent required. Similarly, you can add a more agent. This automation which I did manually, you can run through Ansible, Chef Puppet, or whatever it is. Make sense? Okay. So now, any questions? If not, then can you all do that?
Do you want all of us to run on Ubuntu?
I would suggest, like, if you want to save the troubleshooting time, let's be on one platform. Yeah, Ubuntu.
I don't think everyone has WSL installed or Ubuntu machine available right
No, I'm giving you access to the cloud. No.
now. We have to do. But you want us to set a local machine, right? Or the cloud machine only you want us to use?
That Azure portal I had given you access. No?
From there on.
N number of machines you can create over there.